Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
You know, I am watching very closely the traffic coming out from this broadcast studio here in Missouri, and just as I was about to start, we had some errors on our communications. And we've been having them for a couple days, and it's okay. It's okay. It just keeps us sharp. And should we lose communications between us and GCN, we have an alternate, and we'll use the backup plan. So there's always a plan B. So there might be maybe a 15-second delay if you lose me, and I'll be right back via plan B. Everyone all set? Cocked, locked, here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us this morning. Welcome, Dr. Richard Allen Miller.
Good morning, Vincent. Good morning. Yeah, it's going to be one of those mornings for us.
Yeah, you sound very serious. And I guess, we all should be pretty serious, Rick. I was reading it. Well, why don't we start with this? You're going to be on Carrie Cassidy, with Carrie Cassidy tonight. Would you tell us about that, please?
Well, yeah, Matt Stein and I have been invited to do a pre-interview with Carrie for the Hollywood event that's coming up next weekend. And tonight we'll be on at 7 o'clock. Matt and I will be talking about grid down and earthquakes for the California region. And Carrie will be coming to do podcasts where people that show up there hopefully are going to be interviewed by her. I told her that the story is not about Matt and I. It is about the city of Hollywood itself going into their budget to create a spot for Matt and I to come in under their flag to educate their constituents. People that live in the city of Hollywood or part of the constituents get a massive discount because the city of Hollywood is sponsoring this thing as a getting ready for a prepping. This is the first American city to declare this as such in trying to prepare their local populace. And Carrie will be there interviewing individuals that show up and asking why they are there to take such a workshop. It won't be about us doing the workshop as much as all the different reasons why people are now starting to feel like it's necessary to prep. And that's the post I sent you this morning where they did a survey of what America's number one fear is. And do you know what it is? It's not earthquakes or grid down or pandemics or terrorists. It is distrust of the American government not giving the public the truth. That is the prime. It's posted on my website. The survey was done. I think that Carrie will be doing a similar kind of thing, interviewing individuals that would show up at such an event. And why would they do that? Why would they take this kind of a workshop? That's where the real story lies.
Wow, Rick,
It's the truth of it. And this survey, you can find it. It's yesterday. I posted it yesterday, so it's about 7 or 8 posts down from this morning. I did it yesterday on the 13 different fears that the American public has, and what's their primary one. And most, 78% do not now trust the federal government for anything that they're doing. And that is across the United States. Slide that over. Now we start talking about what's going on in Arkansas right now with flooding. And then suspicious observers is this morning talking about Fukushima and coronal mass ejections. That's why you might slide off the air. We are right now being hammered by the sun. And Comcast is down. A variety of different people are across the country no longer have power. I did not have power last night from, I think it was 2 o'clock to around 6:30 is when it finally came back on. We were down for almost 4 hours. I have no idea what happened. It was a group of people out here where I live outside the city. My phones didn't work. Water didn't work. I had no way of communicating except walking over to a neighbor to confirm that it wasn't just me.
You know, Rick, when you mentioned distrust of the American government or governments, I was talking with Mrs. Finelli, and as I mentioned on the air...
By the way, she didn't ever said after she had pneumonia how she was doing.
She's recovering from pneumonia. She's been to the doctors several times, and they're doing some tests to see what's up with her. And we should have the results.
Everybody's got it. The chemtrail's off.
Yeah, and you know, I was at. Let's continue with this, Rick. I was at the meetup on Monday, and one of my very dear friends has. It looks like he has some cancerous growths on his organs, and I was talking with Norm Shealy about that at the meetup, and I said, Dr. Shealy, seriously, cancer is increasing at an increasing rate. I'm paraphrasing. And he said, you know, you're right. And we talked about that yesterday. It is really increasing. And I mentioned that I was traveling through Springfield, Missouri, and there's this large multi-story building. It's a hospital building, and it's dedicated as a cancer center. And that's just one of many in Springfield, Missouri. So Springfield's not all that big. So for them to build this very, very expensive building and equip it with the tools of the trade, they must be looking forward to receiving a lot of revenue from their cancer patients in the
that's
village.
The number one killer now. It's no longer heart attack. And worse, the problem is, like I just posted another one about the salmon coming out of Seattle, Washington, and it's full of prescription drugs and cocaine. Where did the salmon get all of those drugs? And how come they were not allowed to just say no?
Yeah. That's the problem with being a tree, and that's the problem with being ocean life. And
you're along for the ride on terms of what we're doing to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Rick, I want to share with you a thought. Mrs. Finelli and I were talking about the caucus. And as I mentioned many times on the air, that we are elected representatives of one of the two largest crime syndicates in the country, and that would be the Republicans and the Democrats. So we are...
Well, that's why the American public no longer trusts any politician on any level ever now.
Well, it's worse.
It isn't just your listeners here. It is across America now.
Right.
That's why you're having more listeners. They're not getting what they're supposed to be getting from the, national news. It's just not reporting things correctly.
And you're right. Our numbers are up, probably the highest they've ever been in terms of those members joining our classroom, our broadcast classroom. So, Rick, I was talking with Mrs. Finelli yesterday in the kitchen, and I mentioned the caucus. And, we can go to the caucus because we are elected members of the Republican crime syndicate. Not that we like anything at all about the Republican Party. We don't. We despise the Republicans. And we're not going to go. I said, this is a waste of time. This is a rigged game. There's no reason for us to waste our time at the caucus. I don't believe that our vote counts. I'm serious, Rick. When the Republicans, regardless of what anybody thinks about Donald Trump, when the Republicans say, hey, listen, we've got, and captains of industry and captains of technology say, look, we got to stop this guy. You know, it looks like he has a chance to become president. And the villagers seem to really like him because they distrust all the politicians who are in the circus. They can't stand them because they lie and cheat and steal and obfuscate and all the other criminal activities they're involved in. So they're looking for a guy who's outside of the circus. And so the establishment wants Donald Trump out of the way. They may actually kill him.
Well, that's how it'll play historically, if you believe Cliff High and the rest of it. I don't know how that all plays. What I do know is nobody believes anything the federal government is saying now. How does that work?
Yeah, and you know, I'm thinking that if one of those federales shows up at our house and I happen to be outside, if I'm inside, I'm not opening the door, that's for sure. And the gate's locked, okay. But if they decide to crash the gate, and I'm outside, I don't think it's going to be fun. I certainly can't think of being how I could possibly be civil, knowing the distrust that I have as well as everybody I know has of the government.
Have you seen how Burns, Oregon is starting to play yesterday and today with the second and third videos? Oh, yeah, there's a third video now that shows FBI agents shooting this man down that was, I mean, there were kids in the car. And the FBI twice refused to tell the truth under oath when they said they did not fire on the car, and now they're finding the bullet holes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
it.
and
and
there's
no credibility, none, zippo. And when a federal agent says that to me, I'm going to come right straight back and ask him for proof. Not I did. You can generate any of that. I don't believe anything anymore.
Well, the villagers are being shot in the back by these by the plague.
Shot 3 times in the back. Mm-hmm. And they have, approved the shooting. But now the FBI is doing an investigation because more than 3 different FBI discharged their weapons, and twice under oath, all 3 of them said they did not do that. Now that's national news.
Yep. Dr. Richard Allen Miller and I'll be right back. You're listening to USA Prepares. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com. and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit on the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Rick, I want to share something with you. I had a credit card. I closed the account. It was with UMB Financial, and I don't want to waste a lot of time on this, but I want to share this because there's some anecdotal evidence that is pertinent to this class. So UMB Financial would decline some of my purchases because they said I didn't tell them when I was traveling. So if I went to Virginia or Kentucky or so forth, they would decline my purchases, and they declined, they approved 99.2%, and they thought that was wonderful, and I thought that was ridiculous. I want 100% of my purchases approved, not 99.2%. So when I'm traveling with you, and you and Matt Stein and I are speaking across the country, I really would like my credit card to work rather than go to pay the hotel bill or fuel bills and restaurant charges and so forth. I really don't want my card declined, but they told me that UMB Financial told me that if I don't tell them when I'm traveling and where I'm traveling, that I'm probably going to experience this. So I said, close my account. So I called Bank of America's Visa card operation yesterday, and I said, so am I going to have problems with, and they said, well, yeah, if you don't tell us when you're traveling, yeah, you're probably going to experience some declines when you purchase. And I said, well, I'm not telling you where I'm traveling. And, I was annoyed. I was annoyed because we think we have these cards that are going to work, and the answer is they are so concerned about what they say is fraud that they are going to decline purchases. Now, they said when they learn my traveling habits, I'll be less likely to be declined. All right? I said, well, I'll just use cash. And they said, well, that's probably the best thing to do. They said that. And I asked if I could get a card in another name, an authorized user on the account. And they said, well, we'll need his social security number as well. And I said, well, I don't have it. I'm really getting annoyed with these credit card operations. I really am. So the only one that seems to be pleasant to deal with is Discover. That's what I'm finding. So I wanted to share that with our class, that Discover will allow me to have an alias, okay? Another name on my credit card account. But Visa does not seem to be interested in doing that. They won't do it. So if you want to add, let's say you have a son, or let's say you want to have an alias and you want to travel incognito, an authorized user on your account. Let's say you want it to be Marilyn Monroe. And you called up and said, I'd like to have a card issued in an authorized user, Marilyn Monroe. They'd say, what's the social security number for Marilyn Monroe? So if it's a user that you want on your account to track your purchases, they won't do it without a Social Security number, and that's Visa. That's Bank of America, as well as UMB Financial. So why would I want to use those cards? There you go. So I just want to share that, Rick. Now, flooding. Rain in Texas, Louisiana, massive flooding. Arkansas, or as my son would say, Arkansas. This is unusual, Rick. The amount of rain that comes down.
Not really. Yes, it's unusual. It is global weather changes. Yes. How and where and when? Stay tuned.
All right. Well, here's some of my concerns about these massive downpours when we have a lot of water coming down from the sky, and it can't be absorbed into the ground, so it pools, it puddles, we have floods. So we have flooding in basements, and one of our meetup gals has been with us for about 5 years now, at least. Was telling me that she lives in Springfield and the sewer system backed up into her basement, and it was a massive problem. And the insurance adjuster said, "Wow, I've never seen so much stuff in a basement." But let's say a person has some rat poison, some insecticide in the basement, on a shelf, and everything's fine. Then there's flooding, and then the shelf falls over, or because of the flooding, and the jars and canisters leak into the water that's in the basement, and then the water leaks out of the basement or gets pumped out of the basement. Now we have insecticides contaminating the water that's in the flooding, and then we have the gasoline cans that are in most people's garages, and the oil, and on and on and on. The lawnmowers that the water contaminates the oil, and now we have oil, fuel, insecticides, herbicides, all kinds of chemicals mixing with the water supply, running downhill into the rivers. Can we talk about that when we come back, Rick? How serious that could be?
You bet.
Yeah, there you go.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Hi there. Are you an unhappy timeshare owner? Have you ever asked yourself, how can I get rid of my timeshare? Does your story go something like Stacy's story goes? Here's Stacy now.
My husband and I went and visited a resort, and they kind of attacked us, and they kept sending more and more people, and so we finally said yes, and we bought this timeshare, and then we were stuck in this timeshare that we couldn't get rid of, and we tried all different ways. They made it seem like it was this really great deal, and when we said no originally, then they brought the price down, and then when we still said no, they brought in the manager, and they brought the price down even lower, and they started breaking it in different ways to make it look like it was this really awesome deal. The reality was it wasn't an awesome deal at all.
To cancel your timeshare contract, call ACC today. It's an attorney-based program with a free consultation. The first 20 callers get a 20% discount. Call now, 800-587-EXIT. That's 800-587-3948. Call today, 800-587-EXIT. That's 800-587-3948.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Are you tired of the cold this winter? Are you prepared for the next blizzard or snowstorm? What will you do when the power and heat go off? That could be our future. Fortress Clothing's Bug Out Bag with our head-to-toe solution is your one-step answer to survival in the cold. It doesn't expire, it doesn't go bad, it's lightweight and mobile, and it doesn't just sit on the shelf waiting for an emergency. You can use Fortress today. Be warm and comfortable if you or your family work in the cold. Be warm and comfortable while you play, hunt, fish, camp, ski, paraglide, go sledding with the family, or just shovel the walks. You will never be cold again. FortressClothing.com is the answer. Your emergency preparedness solution to the cold. Your solution to working or playing in the cold. Visit us at FortressClothing.com and enter RADIO. Buy now and receive your 20% off discount. You will never be cold again. FortressClothing.com. It could save your life one day.
Nowadays, there are millions of people with old smartphones, iPads, tablets, you name it, just sitting around collecting dust. And if those are improperly disposed of, well, they contain unsafe toxic materials harmful to you and the environment. But now, these devices can be used as a painless way to help support your favorite GCN shows. Visit DonateMyCell.com. Donations are tax deductible, and if you donate 10 or more devices, you'll receive a special free gift offer. That's DonateMyCell.com. DonateMyCell.com.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us in class. If you'd like to go to his website, docram.com, D-O-C-RAM, R-A-M.com. And that stands for Dr. D-O-C. And then Richard Allen Miller, RAM, Richard Allen Miller, docram.com. That'll take you to his Facebook page and some of the posts that he has that I suggest you consider reading. So, Rick, flooding. So we've got flooding in the United States right now. And we have contaminants that fall off the shelves, and we have contaminants from oil and...
Getting into the drinking water, the post I did on New York City, and what's happening right now up at Indian Point today is unbelievable. And it's, while it's tritium and is in and out of the body quickly, we don't know what tritium does to the body, and I'm really concerned. Every single reactor is now leaking at some level, and the Indian Point one is being called a mini Fukushima.
And class, just think about this.
That's 22 miles, by the way, from New York City. 22 miles.
Think about this. So here on our farm, we raise cows, black cows. And let's say we had flooding on our farm, and let's say our farm was near a city. It's not, but let's say it were, because there are some that are near cities. And there's flooding that occurs. And then the toxins, the poisons, the radioactivity that would leak could be in the water running toward our farm, and then it settles on the ground, and it contaminates the ground. And that's okay, because the cows will eat it, and then you eat the cows. Now,
it's called
how would I know?
Our food chain is being compromised right now.
Now, when we bought our farm...
argument for why you now need to grow a lot of your vegetables inside a greenhouse because of the particulate that is falling from the sky now. And we're not talking about just radiation. I mean, geoengineering is right in there, and I'm guessing that is a contributor to your wife's pneumonia.
Well, if it's just pneumonia that she has, that would be wonderful. Rick, I'm looking for the statistics that I reported. I believe that over the weekend, this past weekend, we had either 44 or 46 separate airplanes flying over the skies over our farm. Now, not just overhead, but I mean, if I look north, south, east, or west in the skies, I counted during the morning when I was working the cows and making sure that they were deliced and so forth, and examining the cows. We rounded them all up. So we spent the entire day. But for the morning, I saw 44, 45, or 46 chemtrails, separate chemtrails. And I reported that at the meetup. And here's what was very interesting. One of our instructors, Sam, is a truck driver, and he really pays attention. He looks all around as well. He looks up and down and all around, and he's aware of his environment. And he said he was under a street light in Springfield, and coming down, he saw this glistening dust coming down at night. He said it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and then I
everything.
mentioned, sure.
It's in your
Yes.
body. It's on the soil. It's killing trees. There is, on the Pacific Northwest, all the trees now are showing wear from the geoengineering. All of them.
And so I mentioned that it's on the West Coast. I mentioned that if I took a flashlight out in the backyard of the farm, checking on the animals at night or checking on the wood stove, I could see the same dust he's talking about. So he's absolutely right. They spray it during the day, and then it rains down until they spray it again, and it's like a continuous fallout. And some people said, that's old news. Okay, it's old news, but it's continuous. It is continuing to poison us. So the statement that it's old news, to me, is something I don't want to hear. I want to hear that it's stopped. I don't want to hear someone say, that's old news. No, it is a continuous threat against all of us on the planet. And I looked at the trees again, Rick, on our farm. They are even in worse condition than they were a month ago. They are seriously falling down. And in Russia, in Ukraine, near the Chernobyl catastrophe, what they're saying is those people who have lived there have been eating radioactive food for 30 years. Worse than that, well, I don't know if it's worse than that. In addition to that, the trees have absorbed the radiation that they have. The radiation that has been absorbed, we'll call it that, by the trees that has been used for firewood, that's being burned for heat, is now entering the air as well. So there's no stopping Chernobyl nor Fukushima. And there's a report on the internet right now that says Fukushima is forever. And we have no technology to find out where those the meltdown rods are. We can't even find them. We don't know where they are, and we have no technology to go and get them because the machines can't survive the level of radioactivity to go get those rods, to bring them someplace else, to stop the contamination of the ocean and the groundwater. And that's just Fukushima. Then there's 104 reactors.
Dollar at work. That's
then there's
why
100.
Nobody trusts anybody in the government now.
I used to think when people would say they have this job or that job. Whenever someone told me they work for the government, I thought, wow, that's too bad. I guess you've got a low IQ. I'm angry, Rick. I really am.
Well, there's not much you can do, and your voice means nothing because the damage is done. It's like boiling the frog. People didn't notice as the temperature was turned up until it was too late. And it's across the board with food, water, air, all of it.
Miles was on the air with us this week.
Of course he has. Into this one.
And Miles was reporting that 8 out of 9 of us will not make it. 8 out of 9 will not make it, based on the research that he's done. Now, so I guess those are the people that are watching ball games, and those are, just not paying attention to what's happening. So maybe as a result, the gene pool will be improved, as we exterminate ourselves. But can you imagine, Rick? These problems are brought to us mostly by our government. Mostly, all of the trash in orbit around the Earth is brought to us by our government, right? All of it. The candy wrappers and all the stuff that they've thrown out of the spacecraft, all the parts of the spacecraft, all of that, all from the satellites, all of it is brought to us from or by or with the blessing of our government.
I don't know where to go with this. I'm speechless. And there isn't anything I personally can do except try to talk about it so that my children and my grandchildren will start to talk about it.
There is a nuclear reactor in Miami.
Yep.
It's leaking. And here's what the Post says. This is from fusion.net. Miami's oceanfront nuclear power plant is leaking. That's the headlines. And it says the University of Miami has found that the Turkey Point nuclear power plant, located just south of Miami, has caused levels of tritium, a radioactive isotope, in Biscayne Bay to spike to 200 times higher than normal levels.
That's nothing. Indian Point is the same thing, only it's 36,000 times. And that's this morning. That's what's happening in New York City right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, here's my question, Rick, and I don't know the answer to this, but the question is, so it's the tritium, the radioactive isotope in Biscayne Bay, is now spiked to 200 times higher than normal levels. Now, is a normal level 0, or is a normal level something that is so high that it causes, cancer?
No. Tritium is a part of is an isotope of water. As such, it is semi-unstable and exists in nature in the ocean, and they mine it. And just like they do other kinds of heavy water. Now, it passes through the body, through the urine, usually without incident, but guess what? Nobody has actually done a study on heavy water. Why? Because it's about money, and they don't want to know.
Well, my question, Rick, is when they say it's spiked to 200 times higher than normal, what is normal? Who says what normal is? What I'm saying is normal probably is not the natural level. It's high. I'm sure it's higher than a natural level or what occurs in nature. It's whatever they say normal is.
Well, so it varies from one location to another, and of course, if the reactor has been leaking for some time, normal levels are the level of leakage. And now you have a spike, which makes that a radcon. See, that's what's so indeterminate by the way they report the information. It's convoluted and doesn't really give you enough information to know whether or not you're at risk or not. Mm-hmm. Any radiation increase is risky. We talked about Van Allen belt and how astronauts going through it probably won't have children. We've talked about spacecraft with monkeys that can't make it to Mars because the background radiation is lethal. Now, there's no screening it. That means that we're all being exposed. Normal background radiation counts in Oregon are somewhere around 12 to 20 counts a minute. When it goes up to 200, that means the background radiation...
Hold that thought.
Preparedness.com is your source for water filtration systems.
Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's no secret that pathogens such as bacteria, viruses, molds, and fungus can inflict severe damage in the human body. Fortunately, a new and vastly improved silver solution has been developed. Supernatural Silver is a revolutionary broad-spectrum antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal solution that can be used inside the body as well as on the skin. Supernatural Silver is unique and superior to colloidal and ionic silvers, using a patented technology that is highly effective against colds, flus, infections, food poisoning, and yeast, in addition to many other pathogens. Supernatural Silver is scientifically supported, extremely safe, and is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Find out how Supernatural Silver could change your life. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HEALTHY for 20% off. That's supernaturalsilver.com, and like us on Facebook.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to KatieArmor.com. Come and take it.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, and we're talking about radioactivity and radiation. And Rick, we're going into a commercial break when you were talking about the background radiation in Oregon. Can you please continue?
It's just as a metaphor. That the thing is, the background radiation in Oregon now, in almost every part of Oregon, has increased 10 times over what it was 3 years ago. Literally, that's where, and that is now the new normal levels. Now, that means it added another zero, and instead of 20 counts a minute, we've got 200 as normal. Now, what do you think that does to the body? Well, that level of difference 10 times is hard to measure medically. That means probably no one, 1 out of 100 people might have skin cancer or thyroid anomaly and or whatever. However, everybody in Japan right now sick. Everybody. It's not just the children anymore. And nobody, including national news, is reporting any of that because there's a gag order not to frighten the public. Now, what do you think that's happening here in America? And the fact that none of us believe our government is anymore working for us. That they're covering up things because of individuals that have made profit off this, taken their profits, and moved out somewhere else. And this is what I'm angry about, is the people that are the 1%ers are the ones that need to face war crimes. And when I say that, I mean literally against humanity. I'm going to suggest that these 1%ers are no longer human. They're not even worthy of being considered human. And as far as I'm concerned, they all deserve to be hung publicly. Oh, Iceland did that. They went out and hung 22 or 42 of their bankers in public. Why are we not doing that? Well, people like Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have made arrangements in terms of who gets to skate and get a free get-out-of-jail card. This whole thing is nuts. And it's time there is a major cleaning, and my guess is independent political structures are going to flourish above the Republican and Democratic parties. And those two parties are now, I hope, toast.
Well, I agree with that. I agree with not having these political machines. They're an outrage, and I think we've seen enough to know that our vote is really, really meaningless.
Well, how about BLM giving away all of our natural resources to China right now? That's what Bundy Ranch was about. That's what Burns, Oregon was about. You'll notice that that man was assassinated in public, and the public said nothing.
And Rick, I think that's going to happen a lot, and it has
happened
a lot.
It is happening a lot. That's why nobody trusts the American government anymore. Get a grip. Why would we? Why should we?
One of our instructors used to call me off the air. His name is Steve Engel, and his term is "Where are the Christians?" And what he meant by that was there's a mugging on the other side of the street, and people might take out their phones and take pictures of it. But he would say, where are the Christians? Because they don't seem to jump in and help the victim. And I said, I think what you really mean is, where are the good people? Whether they're Christians or not, where are the good people? And he said, yeah, you're right. So where are the good people? And I think there are very few good people. And I think, how many? About 0.1%. Literally paying attention and doing something and saying no. And I'm looking at a post from Merrill Lynch. 5 easy steps to downsize your stuff. How to remove clutter from your life. And what do they show a picture of? a bookcase, a magnificent bookcase filled with books. Oh, so you can eliminate clutter in your life. Get rid of your books. Unbelievable. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Nowadays, there are millions of people with old smartphones, iPads, tablets, you name it, just sitting around collecting dust. And if those are improperly disposed of, well, they contain unsafe toxic materials harmful to you and the environment. But now, these devices can be used as a painless way to help support your favorite GCN shows. Visit DonateMyCell.com. Donations are tax deductible, and if you donate 10 or more devices, you'll receive a special free gift offer. That's DonateMyCell.com. DonateMyCell.com.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked, hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, DocRam, DocRam.com. You know, Rick, I was in the shower this morning, and sometimes I have some thoughts about things to talk about during the shower, and I was thinking, because of well, you've been in our shower, it's this high pressure, low volume, it makes this white noise, and I can think kind of clearly. But anyway, the question I have for you is, with all the radiation that's all around us, when we prepare to go to bed at night, let's say, at the end of the day, if we get into bed with radioactivity and other toxins on our skin, that's not so good. And then we contaminate the sheets, and then maybe if we don't wash the sheets every single day, and most people don't,
you get further exposed to it, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now the question is, should we bathe more often, or do we bathe in the morning? Do we bathe at night? Or
it's a question of hygiene. All of the radioactivity is either going to be on the ground, which means it is tracked in with your boots, or it's going to be tracked in on your clothing, especially on the top parts of your shoulder and your head where it fell. If you roll around in the grass, then that's another matter altogether, because that's where it is. It's on the ground and in the air, which is falling. It's like particulate. And so it's going to require a whole new way of behaving with hygiene, where, like in Japan, you leave your shoes at the door, and you have a little airlock place, like the hallway where you take your clothes off and decontaminate before you walk into your sanctum sanctorum. And I'm going to say that today is a good day to start changing your habits, because while it isn't real bad now, it is getting that way. All you have to do is watch the NETC.com change on a moment-to-moment basis, and the rise is up. And the problem is that system doesn't track what was here last year to this year. It tracks what's norm, which is now up, to it's changing, going higher. That's what a RADCON is about, is from norm to some level in terms of time. How fast did it rise? And if you started with 2 counts a minute and you're now up to 20, that means you've increased your background radiation by 10 times. Now, actually, most radiation is around, or has been, around 20 counts. However, in Missouri, I think you're up around 60 as your normal. So there it is. And ours is 20. Now, that means you're getting 3 times the exposure I am every day, 24/7. Is that because you're more militant? I don't know. I think that we need to realize that there's something extremely wrong with the entire systems that we're currently enjoying. Our way of powering things, our uses of electricity, and our fascination with staring down at a little tiny, tiny screen in your hand. That, to me, is the devil. It has taken your basic awareness away from you and given it to some false god. That's an accurate way to see what's going on right now. Technology is not necessarily your friend.
Rick, a few minutes ago, we had Radcon 4 alert in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's now disappeared off NETC.com, but it's Radcon 4 has just appeared in San Diego, California.
These are particulates falling out of the stratosphere because of the weather. The whole thing up there in the stratosphere is now a second Van Allen belt. That means there's twice the risk of trying to go into space to get away from here. At some level, you won't be able to leave because it's too lethal to leave. That's how it's going to play. And then it goes downhill from there. And imagine a comet coming through and hitting a nuclear reactor plant. We haven't even thought about any of that kind of stuff. It's just, it's kind of scary to realize that nobody is noticing the temperature of the boiling pot is increasing, like the frog that's in it. That's what you are. You're a frog being boiled, and you don't know it until it's too late.
Rick, we've got Kyle in Montana joining us. Welcome, Kyle. Kyle Harris, USA Preparedness Instructor, joining us. Welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. Dr. Miller, I had a couple of questions for you. One is, has there been, because I haven't heard anything on the news, has there been any coronal mass ejections lately that we had that was near misses?
And this morning? Yeah, that's why Vincent is iffy on going in or off the air, because of what we're currently enjoying from the sun this very moment. Go to suspiciousobservers.com and he'll run it down to you.
Okay, and the other question that I had was, I was curious, have you heard any more or done any more research into the planet that everybody says, or the star or whatever
planet
that's coming into
Planet
our solar
7,
system?
Planet Nibiru, Planet Wormwood, Planet who knows, Planet X. Isn't that interesting that there was a big flash and now we don't hear anything again? How about those Roman Catholics in the Church of Rome setting up that observatory in Tucson? How about
Well, it's okay. I was reading about that also, and I was just curious because, like you, I haven't been hearing anything new coming in.
That's
you know,
it's distractions all. Look, children, over here. Look, they're beheading. ISIS is beheading people. Of course, it was set up by us so that we had something to look at. We'll call it Rambo 7. And then, oh, look, children, over there. And the distractions of not keeping your eye on the ball of what is important and to the quality of life. How is your quality of life improving recently?
Well, we're making progress like crazy. I've been like Vince. I've been working. I mean, it's like, you know, head down and.
It is a headspace. What I'm trying to go for. Yes, good. You're because you're focused not on what the government is not doing and what they are doing to us. You are focused now on what you are doing for yourself, and that's where it all starts.
You know, I agree with you, Dr. Miller. I think, you know, and this is part of preparedness that I think a lot of people miss, and that is that if you get caught up too much, I mean, you want to be aware, but if you get caught up too much into what the government and what's happening with, you know, chemtrails that you can't control and the coronal mass ejections that you can't control, you want to be aware of it and start setting up. Like my house is completely off grid now. I've made that
How
jump.
does that feel for you personally?
Oh man, Dr. Miller, I tell you,
that's where you are literally saving the earth.
Well, it's not just that, but I mean, you know, it's just
yourself.
Yeah. And it feels really good. I've got about an acre area out here that where my wife and I are planning on putting our garden, and I've been cutting trees and leveling it out.
Time starts this next weekend. Here we are getting ready to do your garden.
Yeah, and you've got to, you know, people. But what I was getting at with this is that if you can just look at what you need to accomplish today to start moving toward a goal of understanding, the first part, I think, is understanding that life as we know it is fixing to change.
Well, that's the rule of everything is change. That is the rule.
Yeah, I agree. It's but anyway, once you let that sink in beyond your head and get into your heart, then you can start thinking beyond just the day-to-day droll, whatever the media has to say kind of stuff, and start setting goals for yourself and start, today I'm going to drop 2 or 3 more trees and cut them up and get them, and they'll be not this coming winter, but they'll be the winter after that's firewood. You know,
that's
it's just, but I need it.
That is exactly where you are taking steps towards sovereignty.
And that's what people have to do, you know, and try your best I think one of the things that people are missing is to try their best to be out of debt and beholden to no one.
Well, the out of debt thing is an illusion. Money is a theatrical prop. Ultimately, what's real is labor.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And so, in 1 year, your debt isn't going to drop. It's going to increase. The only thing is, the infrastructure for collection is going to collapse because money won't mean anything anymore. So rather than worry about your debt, worry about your food and water. How about that next moment? And what are you going to do in the next moment? Not the next year, the next century. Basically, what you find meaningful in your life right now, why you choose to look at your garden over the weeds, is how your future is talking to your present in a specific timeline that then changes the quality of your past.
Yep.
It is a relationship to yourself and why you choose to find something important and something else not important. And it differs with each of us, and each of us finds different significances because we're working with different kinds of timelines in the future. And all of it is simply connected to to the moment. And it's your attitude about sovereignty and towards yourself where the key to salvation lies. Not what you do, but how you do it.
Kyle, would you like to hold through the break? I would like to share with you states with laws about off-grid living.
Sure, you bet.
Okay, sounds good. Rick Miller and Kyle and I will be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
If you want to raise the next generation of Patriot leaders, take a look at Freedom Project Academy, a Judeo-Christian online school for kindergarten through high school. No Common Core teaching methods or high-stakes testing. Freedom Project Academy is government-free, doesn't accept any government funding, and is a fully accredited private school. All classes are taught live online with real teachers across the country. Open enrollment runs March through July, but classes fill up quickly. Check them out at fpeusa.org. That's fpeusa.org.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Kyle in Montana, USAPrepares.com instructor's with us as well. And Kyle, I've got some solar panels and I put them on the roof of the barn and I've wired it to the house. And I didn't ask anybody for permission and I don't plan on it. But that's me. And I'm not recommending that you follow my lead class, but this is just what I do. I'm not going to ask permission from anyone to to become more independent. So there's a post, and it's called on the website called tipsforsurvivalists.com. I'll post it on the website as soon as I have enough bandwidth to do it. But it says, living off the grid sparks legislative action from several states. Living off the grid has benefits, but it also has drawbacks. Many individuals who are seeking to go completely off the grid are being met with extreme opposition by the government. And here's what it says. So here are a list of some states which have, well, it says laws concerning living off the grid. Florida. If you're planning on going off the grid in Florida, you may want to reconsider because the courts have ruled that living off the grid is a violation of the International Property Maintenance Code. Okay, that is in Florida. And then it says North Carolina and almost every other state, those who are trying to create off-grid homes from materials which are not commercially based may find that the local authorities will not be too happy about it. If you're likely to get a citation and criminal charges for building a structure that endangers the lives of others. Building a structure without a license or constructing a building without obtaining the proper permits and meeting regulated codes. So that's a problem. Then it says in Pennsylvania, those living off the grid in Pennsylvania have to abide by governing fees and licensing when installing alternative energy, and those living off the grid must. Now, this is what the Post is saying. I'm not saying this. The Post is saying you must contact local government agencies to verify the ordinance of the area, have a feasibility and engineering cost analysis, have a renewable provider, whether it be wind or solar, approved by the local government. And then it says there are fees that are specifically driven to regulate wind turbines, which have become popular in that area. Then in Arizona is trying to impose a tax which will add an additional $152 per year, a residential tax on any resident who has solar power.
You know why this is happening, don't you? It's because China is taking over our utilities like they did in Canada. And so they're going to try to close the doors before you think to even look for a door. It's illegal, for example, to collect rainwater on your property in Oregon. And a man is still in jail because of it, because what falls from heaven belongs to the state of Oregon. And so if you capture it for your own use, you're breaking the law. Rainwater.
Yeah, these are regulations
that's flooding everyone else.
Yeah. Then it says that there are other blanketed law violations, and what this really means is ordinances, fines, legislation, and hostilities to those living off the grid are apt to include child endangerment. Now, the Beninati family, my neighbors down the road, literally down the road, I can walk to their property, their 20-acre property, had Child Protective Services called on them because there was this question: Are they endangering their children because they were building a cabin and they were using
that child agency makes incomes off the federal government and someone's problems.
And then, so these there's ordinances, and these ordinances can be used against us, we the villagers who want to be independent and have alternative energy and be free from the grid. Okay, so here's what can happen. Child endangerment can be considered. Condemning the property as being unsafe. Fines for having untreated waste on the property, whatever untreated waste is. Building and zoning fines. Building without a permit. Stealing water, as you said, Rick. Stealing electricity and other resources. I have no idea what that means. Cruelty to animals. That happened to Justice Mike Parsons on his farm. They were suspecting the government in Tennessee, Tipton County, thought that he was being cruel to his animals, and it was not the case. They found that he was a wonderful farmer with his animals. And in operating a business without a license, if you sell goods, unlawful disposal of hazardous materials, and if you use fertilizer, you may have the feds say that you're a threat to Homeland Security. Really?
Tammany Hall. That's what it is. It's Tammany Hall.
Kyle, I just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Well, I'll hold through the break. I had one other comment and question.
Thank you.
Don't know what's in your drinking water? Better get a ProPure. With the Pro 1 G2.0 all-in-one filter, remove over 200 contaminants, including fluoride and lead. Taste water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure water filtration products. There's a ProPure system for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details on our current free shipping special or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
This is an important message to all listeners. If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, the tax pros at OIC Tax want to help you. OIC Tax is dedicated to helping taxpayers just like you with their IRS problems.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS. I was working long hours and weekends just to make ends meet. To make matters worse, the IRS was about to garnish my wages, and I needed to file several years of back tax returns. Then I called the tax professionals at OIC Tax. They stopped the IRS from garnishing my wages. They even placed my account into the IRS's financial hardship program, so I don't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right, no payments to the IRS while I'm in this program.
Call OIC Tax today to see if you qualify for the IRS's hardship program. Call 800-272-9128. Call now and mention you heard this radio commercial and receive 10% off their already low fees. 800-272-9128. That number, 800-272-9128. Call now, 800-272-9128.
For the most amazing, calming, brain-stabilizing, blood sugar, and natural addiction-breaking formula, try CalMind. Anxiety melts, panic is gone, sleep is restful, and you'll stay calm during stress. Better than booze, mind-altering drugs, or anti-anxiety, antidepressant, toxic medications, CalMind lubricates your mind so you'll sail through the day effortlessly. Order Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutridyne at 888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com and listen to the NutriMedical Report every weekday on the GCN Radio Network. NutriMedical, bringing nutrition and medicine together.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us, and Kyle Harrison Montana's with us, USA Preparedness instructor. Kyle, you had some final thoughts?
All of those things that you're talking about are part of a situation in this country and in practically in all the world. We're raised in a matrix. And until people can wrap their mind around that there is a matrix that has been engineered and prepared for you to grow up in this ant farm matrix.
Mind control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mind control, yeah.
It really is. And one last question, Dr. Rick, I was going to ask you, is the sun in this large coronal mass ejection phase, or is it in a shorter, less volatile phase right now? And were these coronal mass ejections that just happened, were they considered big ones or little ones, or?
Yes, all of the above.
Okay.
What we had is a you can look on suspicious observers and take his exact precise words. Something is affecting the sun. Yes, it has been in a quiet, dormant period, and right now something is disturbing that.
Okay.
There's your Planet X, there's your alien technologies, who knows what it all means. The bottom line is, even at my pay grade, I don't think we'll know until it's in our face. I think that's what the government that already knows what's happening is the way they're going to play it. Because of, for our own good and plausible deniability. The thing that is good for you, Kyle, is your focus on yourself and making yourself more and more independent. The being independent is not your goal. It is the journey toward being independent where the savior of the earth occurs.
I think, like Vince has said before, it's something that you learn to love. The more you do it, the more you learn to love it.
Dead on, Kyle. You've got it. And you're lucky because you're doing it. And people are envious, would like to mimic and pattern some of what you do into their own lives.
I think that's one of the reasons Vince's show is so important and is so popular, because not only is I love the way he starts all the time with the laugh, but, it's
no whining. I love you, Vincent. You're probably one of the coolest people I've ever met. No whining.
Yeah. Hey, Vince, one last question. I haven't heard you mention anything more about an expo. Is there any coming up that you're going to be doing?
We're being deluged. We're being deluged with...
Vincent and I got invited to 9 of them. 9 expos. So, we're going to be doing some activity this year as the Three Amigos. I believe that's the way Vincent put it.
Kyle, we've been deluged with calls. When's the next expo? And I have to tell you, it is extremely difficult to put an expo together because a lot of the exhibitors say, well, I'll let you know. And then at the last minute, they all jump in. And it's difficult to plan a large event like that. So I'm literally concerned about how much time we have left. I don't think we have much time left. So I've put the next expo on the back burner, but the plan would be to have a different kind of an expo, one with fewer exhibitors, very few exhibitors, and mostly seminars, in-depth seminars. But I have to find a location where the government won't pile on top of us like they have in Lebanon.
I've got an idea. How about you do it as a demonstration farm location in the future, where you have a network of them, not just yours, so people can go on a tour and see how it's done in different habitats and situations.
I've proposed that to the family, and I've said, we could do something really cool. We could talk about how to buy a farm.
It doesn't have to show all your farm. It could be just portions of it where people have a classroom.
So that is a remote a remote possibility. When I mentioned that to the family, they looked at me like, "You kidding, right?"
Well, it's called a demonstration farm. The best way to teach farming to a farmer is by taking them to your field.
Yeah.
And
no, that's what I was thinking.
See, by example, they modify by their own personality and their own knowledge base, and what happens next is an exchange of evolution.
Yeah, and so we've thought about that, and that's really what I'd like to do. However, there's a huge risk of doing that because of infiltration, ringers, and so forth. So we have to figure that component out. But the answer is, we're considering it. We'd like to do it, but it will be different from the last ones, and it won't be at a government venue, because the government has been so oppressive at many of our venues. They've shut the air conditioning off. They've turned Wi-Fi off. They've called the cops on us. I mean, they really don't like us. I mean, that would be more than half of the expos we've met with problems from the venue. So the answer is, I don't know at this moment.
You know, Vincent, there is in the big magic book a thing called the spell of invisibility. Low profile.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know one other thing, Vince. I am working on trying to get a guy that is a master at tinctures for you, and I've got to call into him, and because I know him, but he hasn't returned my call. He had some health issues for a while, but because he's getting older too, but he's a master of it, and as soon as I hear back, I'll let you know.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Have him call me at the farm. Okay.
Yep.
Kyle, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Rick, one of the things I'd like to delicately discuss, since this is a family broadcast, is, you know, we talk about the chemtrails and we don't like them. We talk about the radiation, we don't like it. And so what is the way to stop this? Well, here's a way. Here's a way. Ladies, I want you to listen very carefully. I'm going to describe this in terms that are not too harmful to our young ears. So let's say your husband is flying those planes, and he is breathing, and he's covered with the chemicals that are from the aircraft in front of him and at the same altitudes and above him. Okay, so he's flying this plane, and he comes home and he missed you a lot, and he wants to be intimate. Now think about that. He's covered with this stuff. He's covered with the radiation from Fukushima that is in the atmosphere. He's covered with the chemical spraying, and now he wants to be intimate. And is that what you really want to have become part of you? Seriously, is that what you want? So maybe, and do you want him to sleep next to you in the same bed after he's been bathed in this radiation? Because he's part of the problem? Because he's spraying the planet with chemicals, and he is exposing himself by being in the aircraft to more chemicals than the rest of us and more radiation than the rest of us?
Yeah, I wonder what kind of promotional program they did to indoctrinate all those pilots that are currently participating in this event.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting thing to see what the training manuals that are being given to them, how they read.
Yeah. So he comes through the front door and he wants to give you a great big hug because he had a rough day poisoning the planet. And so do you give him a great big hug, or do you say, whoa, first you go out in the garage and I'm going to get the garden hose and you stand out there in the driveway and I'm going to hose you off because you're not coming in the house like that. And you're certainly not going to bring your flight suit in here or your uniform.
Yeah, I'd be real careful with Ayuti and the dogs. Their hygiene is even less than yours. And I know how you like to go down on the ground with them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rick. So the point, ladies, is if your man is flying I'm not being sexist. I'm sure women are flying too. But women, do you want all that debris and chemical toxins to be part of you? Think about that.
Yeah, and then there's a bonus for whistleblowers.
Yeah. And then I mentioned that post from Merrill Lynch, which is Bank of America, and they're saying you can remove the clutter. And what they show is, Rick, bookcases. And I've seen images of your place, and you've got lots and lots and lots of books. We've got lots of books too.
Great,
and the last
thing to say about that.
the last thing I'm going to get rid of is books. And Merrill Lynch / Bank of America is it has an article on how you can remove clutter. Hey, get rid of it. Let's start with the books. Now, they're on a bookshelf. How much clutter is it on? They're already on the bookshelf. That's not clutter. It's organized. It's organized so you can, I'm sure.
Be your knowledge base when you don't have a computer to go look at your screen and read what you want because the internet's down.
Right, exactly right. So why would you get rid of the books? How about the stuff maybe why get rid of anything? Why get rid of old clothes that might fit somebody else? Why? Why get rid of it? Why get rid of those sauce jars and the lids? Because where are you going to get them in the future? Where?
Well, and actually what you're describing is consumerism, where you replace old with new rather than fixing old because it was well built.
Yeah, Rick, here's something I was thinking about in the shower today. By the way, have you been in our garage? Have you seen the rotary lift that we put cars up on right off the kitchen? Okay, all right. Here's why I'm mentioning that. So you've seen it. Well, that has hydraulic hoses. Class, our hydraulic hoses were leaking. I had to replace them. I had to replace the hydraulic hoses. They're probably 20 feet of hose or more because they were leaking. Now think about that in the future. How are you going to have your car serviced if these hydraulic hoses are leaking because of radiation in the air and electromagnetic radiation that's causing the rubber to deteriorate? That's just hydraulic hoses on the lip. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. You got it?
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Imagine a pill that can improve your focus, your memory, your sleep, a catalyst to improve your brain chemistry. Dr. Bill's Cognition Plus is truly the smarter in an hour pill. A combination of amino acids, trace minerals, and B vitamins, Cognition Plus is made with specialized herbal extracts that will enhance and support brain function. Our customers say,
I feel more focused.
My memory's getting better.
I can work longer with more useful hours.
Power up your neurotransmitters that have been depleted, like dopamine and norepinephrine. Stimulate the release of others, like serotonin and oxytocin. Improve circulation and energy production. Protect your mind and your loved ones today. Order Dr. Bill Deagle's Cognition Plus at 888-212-8871 or go online to NutriMedical.com. That's 888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com. And listen to the NutriMedical Report every weekday on the GCN Radio Network. NutriMedical.com, bringing nutrition and medicine together.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Class, I can't believe it. I just took a look at the ratings on TalkStreamLive.com. And class, you have made this broadcast number 15 right this moment out of all the broadcasts that are running that are tracked on the internet right now. That does not include, of course, over the air broadcast. It's just tracking those listening on the internet. And I'm humbled, so I want to thank you very much. When we first started, we're like at the very bottom. We're number 3 from the bottom, and now we're number 15 from the top at this very moment. So thank you so much. Thank you, Rick Miller, for all your hard work. And it appears that there's a shift from the mainstream media to kind of broadcasting that we do. A shift from the nonsense and the lies and the misinformation, the disinformation, the obfuscation, the confusion, to the kind of broadcasting that the alternative media is doing. So I want to thank all of our peers in alternative media for bringing the truth out. And, of course, thank you to our class and thank you to our instructors. Rick, out in your neck of the woods, the U.S. Navy was caught conducting secret electromagnetic warfare testing in Washington State.
Yeah, there's your mind control, your through-wall surveillance, your energy pulse weapons, like in Eraser, the movie, The Eraser. I have to say the Navy is leads in technology, not CIA, not Army, not the Marines or Air Force. It's the Navy. Navy has always been the forefronter. They're the ones that deployed lithium down in Reedsport several months ago to see how they could lock down a small city. They're preparing for the worst.
They're preparing for the worst, meaning the outrage of the villagers getting frosted and
so where you
vigilante
live,
justice.
Everybody is on a well. But in New York City, for example, what are you going to do if the grid goes down? And, oh, yes, you can count on that. So right now, they've got their own grief 22 miles away with a mini Fukushima or whatever. You know, the tritium in the groundwater right now at Indian Point is 36,000 times normal. Not 3,600, 36,000 times. And it's 22 miles from New York City. Now, there's a city that'll go creepy if all of a sudden there's no water and you can't flush a toilet. How's that going to work? At 6 floors up. That's what they're preparing for. Chaos. And there will be chaos because all of the municipalities are totally unprepared for anything like that. That's why the city of Hollywood has decided to go into their budget and produce this event to educate their constituents. Nobody's ready.
Rick, let me share this with you. Several years ago, I was put on television on KY3, broadcasting out of Springfield, Missouri. And they were doing a special on our expo, and they had me on the air and some of our expo exhibitors and speakers and so forth. And then they had, to make it balanced, they had more than half of the time by this guy who was with the emergency management group in Springfield. And he's sitting back in his chair and he goes, yeah, I'm paraphrasing, by the way. Yeah, you know, if you want to have a flashlight or you want to have some water or some food, yeah, I guess that'd be okay. And so here we're having this major event, the biggest in the country, about preparedness and survival and what you need to do and how you need to think and what and how to plan tactics, strategies. And then we have this guy from emergency management, you know, the spokesman saying, yeah, if you want a flashlight, I guess that'd be all right, some batteries. Minimizing, trivializing, marginalizing who we are. This guy's an absolute disgrace. And I'm so glad that you're having an event, and you're going to be talking about it with Kerry Cassidy tonight with Matt Stein. How do we listen to it, Rick?
I guess Kerry is going to do a live podcast. You go to Project Camelot. It'll be promoted there. I'll send you a banner. It has directions.
I'll put it on the website. Link on the website, class. I'll post it as soon as I get it from Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Rick, thanks so much for being with us today. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Visit GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.